So we have Nick Lombard from Binghamton taking it on, as we mentioned, the returning All-American Jaden Abbas from Stanford.
Nick had a really nice Bearcat Open. He was the runner-up there. Nick comes to Binghamton from Michigan, where he was a 4-year wrestler there.
Yeah, you mentioned Binghamton Bearcats hosted their annual Open tournament last Sunday. Got to see a lot of their wrestlers in action. It's a nice event. A lot of top guys around. Cornell was here. They brought a lot of their big-time recruits. I mean,
Naval Academy.
Naval Academy was here with a bunch of guys. Kerry Colat brought his team up. Yeah, some really nice competition last weekend up here in New York. See what Lombard has for Abbas. Abbas was in a scrap last night with Yanni Diakomahalis. How about that one?
Great match. Low scoring, but those who know wrestling know that that was a fantastic match.
Yeah, unfortunately for Abbas, on the receiving end of a called penalty, referee called him for grabbing the shoelace on a takedown. In a tight match, everything matters. Ended up losing 3-1, so that wasn't the point that lost it for him, so to speak, but
definitely dictated some of the complexion of the match.
Absolutely. And Abbas in on the leg, trying to gather the far leg. Lombard does a nice job at whizzering in the position, though. Abbas has got to try to limp arm out of here.
Great
too much. And nice job by Lombard. Yeah. Notice how he circled back in there. If Abbas would have followed him and just stepped out of bounds, you're probably going to see, possibly a back out call on Lombard. So did a really nice job of circling back toward the center and keeping the wrestling action going. Yeah, the coaches were talking. They were happy with the way Abbas wrestled last night. Obviously, when you're wrestling somebody of the caliber of a Yanni, to wrestle a real battle and keep it close. And they want him in these kind of environments as Abbas picks up the takedown. He's still a young wrestler. Last year as a freshman, with COVID protocol, he's never wrestled in an arena like that. Last night, the Friedman Center was rocking.
Oh, yeah.
So it's good to have those experiences. Lombard gets set in the bottom position.
I'm pretty sure Abbas's family is not too bad at the sport of wrestling.
Yeah, I think his dad wrestled or something.
And maybe his uncle.
As we joke, they're a very accomplished wrestling family. I won't try to spout the stats off by memory, but you kids can Google it.
Well, his dad had one of the craziest NCAA tournament final matches I've ever seen when he wrestled Lincoln McElravy.
What year was that?
93, I believe.
Abbas doing a nice job. Just that little sneaky trick of just pushing on that elbow when he's in the top position. That's why sometimes to maybe the unexperienced wrestling fan or the average fan even, the intricacies that go into top riding, it doesn't seem like much, but it's these little tricks that these guys do on top that can make it just almost impossible to get out from underneath.
Well, and continuing to get weight on the hands, from your opponent. You're putting weight on them. You're putting pressure on them. And all four Stanford wrestlers have been very good from the top position.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you mentioned, putting the weight on the hands, there we saw Lombard's head on the mat. So the weight either goes to the hands or the head. Exactly. And if you have your head down, there's a really good chance you're going to get hit for stalling. So just that pressure from top is going to prevent him from getting out and just, make him very uncomfortable in the bottom position. So first period over, 2-0 lead for Abbas. Has over a minute of riding time as he gets set in the down position.
Nice how he closed that off.
I was just going to say, did an excellent job pushing that elbow back, that little quarter turn right off the whistle. And we talk about making it look easy. That's another thing. It is so hard to get out on the bottom in Division I wrestling. But when you watch some guys, they do it right away every time. It's because they have that perfect technique along with the explosive power. As we're getting towards the out of bounds, we'll see Lombard again does a nice job of circling in.
That he's a fifth-year guy, and he's been at this a long time, and you can tell positionally he's very sound.
Yeah, Michigan. As you mentioned, he transferred from Michigan. That's just a loaded team.
Yeah.
They've been bringing in top recruiting classes for the past couple years. Michigan's always Michigan. They're a tough school, but they're really trying to put themselves in a national title or team trophy race.
Well, especially when you're backing up a guy named Pantaleo.
Yeah, tough to break into the lineup. Abbas, both legs unable to get the 2 until right now. Picked up the 2 points. He's got to try to work up off those legs. He does that.
And the Stanford wrestlers have done a good job converting their attacks. You know, if we looked at the percentage, it's very high.
Yeah, I'd say, well, the last match was a little bit of an outlier with so many ankle scrambles.
Sure.
But, you know, he was, Stanford wrestlers were definitely finishing those and not, at least causing stalemates, you know. You can hear the Binghamton staff trying to get Lombard to open up. Down 4 points, he's got to try to create some kind of offense, but so far it's been all Abbas dictating the pace as Abbas is in on another leg attack. Head outside on the left side.
And Lombard tried to get the head to the inside, which is exactly what you want to be doing. But, you know, Jaden is just Jaden. He can finish.
Yeah, you don't get on the podium in the NCAA tournament if you can't finish those leg attacks. It's one thing to get in on the attack. That's good. Still got a long way to go, though. The finish is the important part.
And Abbas is a really creative wrestler, too. It's going to be interesting to see what he does here in the third because he might try to open it up a little bit.
Lombard tries to roll through. I think Abbas knew exactly how much time was on the clock, though, so looked a little bit more dangerous than what it really was in that position.
They keep looking over here, so I'm assuming it's right below us.
I thought they were just checking us out.
Nah.
Two good-looking guys over here on the mic. You know what? The board might be below us.
We have great faces for radio.
And that's exactly right.
Abbas is big for the weight. You know, I really feel like he fills out 49.
You know what? I think it's that new rule where you're allowed to have 1 pound on the second day. So he weighed in 1 extra pound today. That's fair. You got a good eye, man.
Well, I saw the guys coming from weigh-ins, and one of the things that's changed so dramatically in college wrestling, when I started, you know, we did the night before weigh-ins, and there was some excessive weight loss. And the rules now, I mean, they definitely protect the wrestler, much better diet, you know. And, you know, these guys were walking back from weigh-ins, and they were smiling, you know. And that's not the way it was back in the day.
Well, I'll tell you who's not smiling right now, and that's Lombard, because his leg is all cranked up. Picks up the fall.
When you're crossed over like that, there's not really anywhere you can go.
No, it's hard to fight off.
Hopefully he's okay.
All tangled up like that. Abbas with the fall for Stanford. That's going to be 16 points. That's going to make the score 15-0 for Stanford. Look forward to come back at 157 pounds after this short break.
Jason.